especially teachers and people who love teachers. We are really proud of our latest kit. Our starter kit has been really popular with people, and so we basically have put together, I guess you could say it's a starter kit for teachers, but it's really just, it's the Tokyo Print Shop teacher kit. And this is meant to be something that would be great to buy for yourself if you're a teacher, or to buy as a gift for teachers. Why don't we just start with what's out already here? A couple of non-pen things. Well, a little bit of background first. This will help explain these items. So my mom is a teacher. My mom was a 5th grade teacher, and before that she was a middle school teacher. And my husband and partner, the other owner of Tokyo Pen Shop, his mother was a teacher also, and actually so was his father. But so basically we have been getting a lot of feedback from our moms over the years about what teachers like. And when we pulled this kit together, we kept their advice in mind, and basically they really helped us construct the ideal teacher kit. So the first thing we have here is a flashcard. This is by Midori, the Midori flashcards. There are 81 pages in here, and the ring opens to move the cards around. And why this is really cool is you don't need to use this for flashcards in the traditional sense, but what my mom always used these for was to make sure that she was calling on her students in kind of a fair and even way. So she would have their names on these cards, and then every once in a while, so that they weren't used to like, oh, I always get called on after so-and-so, so that it was more spontaneous, she would actually mix them up. And in that way, it was a very fair way to call on students. Of course, you can use them in the more traditional sense, but it is really handy that they open. Even for learning, it's really good not to get used to the order. So we are going to include in each teacher kit a shape of flashcard. It won't necessarily be the pink pig. We'll pick one of the many shapes we have. The next thing is this really pretty Jewelish correction tape. This is like, I love this so much. I feel like this should also have been in my underappreciated products video. This correction tape is just really pretty. That's the main thing I can say about it. It is super handy, obviously, to have if you're a teacher. For example, if you have written something like a correction on your student's paper, I think it kind of feels and looks unprofessional if you're like scribbling it out. And also sometimes you don't want a kid to see, like if you've made a mistake in correcting a kid's paper, it's kind of better to like erase the incorrect thing you wrote, because it could still implant an image in their mind, right? About, oh, the teacher said such and such. And also in your lesson plan books, my mom said she would use correction tape all the time. You will also in this kit be getting an assorted Jewelish correction tape. It comes in peridot, pink sapphire, blue topaz, and amethyst. So let me pull out the erasable items. My mom thought it was really important to include some friction items in this kit. And we were able to kind of do a crossover, because my mom said you definitely want multi-pins, you definitely want some friction, and you also want some highlighters. So I was able to do some crossover in picking the friction. So I've picked a Friction Ball 3, which comes with 3 friction ink colors in 0.38. And I've picked the silver barrel because I feel like it's the most sort of like universally pleasing, and it's very pretty. I really like it. And what I've done is include 2 refill colors for this. One, so that it's really clear to you or to the teacher you give it to that this can basically be a custom multi. You can pick one of any. There's like 19 different colors of friction ink, so you're not limited to the red, black, blue, although those are good colors for teachers. But I've included also the violet and the wine red. I would also really recommend one of the shades of green, like the forest green or the regular green. Green is a great color for teachers, and I'll explain more about that in a bit. I've also included a 3 set of friction highlighters. Now these are the friction light highlighters, so they come across like a light pastel, so they're not the like really bright in your face highlighter colors. They're erasable, so if a teacher has highlighted something in a textbook, she can erase it. If she's highlighted something, you know, on the student paper or lesson plan book that she's changed her mind about, it's really convenient to be able to erase your highlighters. Also, sometimes we get too excited, like if we're highlighting, I did actually teach for a while. I taught Japanese at the college level. And when you're highlighting sometimes a section of a student's paper, sometimes you can get carried away and highlight too much. It's nice to be able to fix when you've over highlighted. So I thought if I'm gonna pick highlighters for teachers, I really wanted to do the friction highlighters, and I also really like that they're like the modern pastel colors that people are using right now. Speaking of green, we picked the Sarasa Clip in Viridian, and so one reason I picked this is because it's not only the #1 selling pen in Japan, but it's the #1 color in the Sarasa Clip that are sold. So this is like the single most popular pen in Japan right now. It is great because I think it is so much better for students to correct their papers in green than in red, and there have actually been studies about this. When you correct students' papers in red, for them it can feel really like, oh, you did this wrong. Or say you're just wanting to mark up parts of the paper for suggestions for them, it can feel very negative if there's red markings all over it. And so green is just a more friendly color, but it still stands out. And we picked the Viridian just because it was a little bit different from the regular green that a lot of people might already have. And of course, for that reason I told you, which is that it's the #1 popular pen in Japan. So we wanted to give you one other multi-pen that wasn't a friction multi-pen, and we wanted to give you a nice multi-pen. So even though I think it was a little bit on the daring side to have a higher end pen in a kit, and especially in a kit that might be, you know, for someone who hasn't been introduced to Japanese pens before, I think it's really important to give them a nice classy pen that will be really a pleasure to use when they're grading papers at night or what have you. So this is a Jetstream 4+1, so it also has the pencil. My mother told me that the erasable pens and the pencil are so nice for teachers to have because if you're making your lesson plan books, you know, especially in lots of parts of the country, you might have snow days or other reasons that school is canceled, and so you have to move everything, you have to change everything, and she found herself erasing in her lesson plan books a lot. So this multi-pen is nice in that it comes with a pencil. There is a hidden eraser under the cap, and the nice thing about this is, I should be taking this out of the plastic. The nice thing about this Jetstream 4+1, besides it being a very nice elegant metal body pen, is that you get to pick for yourself or for the teacher you're buying this for what tip size you want. This one I'm showing in silver comes in 0.7, but there are different tip sizes to choose from, and you get to pick which barrel you want. So if you really like the 0.7 burgundy barrel, then you pick that one. You just leave us a comment when you're checking out and let us know exactly which one you want. There are a lot of really pretty colors, so you're gonna wanna go look. You know, you might want a light pink or a bold pink or a purple, or maybe you want something like black or silver, or there's a really cool like bright light green. It's like almost like a neon green. So, you know, just go take a look and let us know the exact one you want. If you don't tell us which one you want, we'll probably default to kind of more of a unisex one like the silver or black. And then we have one more pen in our kit. This one is the Power Tank, the Mitsubishi Power Tank. I felt pretty strongly about including this in the kit, and the reason is that you can use this pen. It's like has the same features as a space pen. So you can write upside down, you can write straight across. You don't have to have your pen like this. And I feel like teachers are always standing up and either writing something that's on a bulletin board, or they're writing, up with their, text up in their hands. So I wanted to include one of our pens that has those space pen features. So it's pressurized ink, allowing you to write which way, but it's still an inexpensive pen. And this pen becomes a lot of people's favorites. So I thought it was a really, really good teacher pen. If you have any questions about the teacher set, don't hesitate to let us know. I'm gonna kind of move this up here a little bit so you can see more of it. We worked really hard to refine and decide what we felt should be in the kit, and we hope you or a teacher you love loves it too. Have a great week. Bye-bye.